You picked like an actual good mom.
Yeah, because I have a bad one.
Oh. I think I did it. Does that sound okay?
That sounded pretty
It
clappy.
was a little weak.
Sounded contagious.
Welcome back to Each Other's Mothers. Good afternoon this time.
Yes.
We have a very special guest this afternoon. It is Hailey Zureich, everybody.
Hi.
Fellow
Hey.
comedian, friend of mine, comedy sister, and producer, and life coach, and author. Have you written things?
Wow.
I have written things.
And?
Yes,
What else are we doing?
Oh, golly. So
Besides looking absolutely amazing.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you. I feel like one of the things I like least about dating right now is when people say, like, what do you do? I'm like, well, sit down.
Yeah.
How much time you got?
I'm
Exactly.
a certified life coach. I'm a yoga teacher. I teach stand-up comedy classes. I am a stand-up comedian. I also am doing more improv now suddenly. And I model.
Okay.
Oh.
And I like to call myself a producer and a philanthropist.
Okay.
Not only
Pop off.
because it's a good thing to do, but it's a hard word to say.
Yes.
Hey. Okay, I love that. So you're busy bee.
Yes.
How do you stay organized?
I thank you for asking that question. So I keep a paper agenda, which I recognize is not very earth friendly, but I do use it and I do my best to recycle them when I'm ready to let them go. And then I live and die by my Google Calendar. And Johanna knows this.
Yeah.
Because anytime we're ever like, oh, do you want to like get together and just have like a casual coffee? I'm always like, sure. When? Great. What time? Awesome. Where do you want to meet? And then 5 minutes later, pring.
Yeah. Every single time.
I'm
I
the-
appreciate it because I
I'm the
would have put it in
same.
my calendar anyway. But I'm still on my iPhone calendar.
Yeah.
And I
That
need to
rules.
graduate to my Google calendar.
Then you can integrate them.
Yeah,
You can make them speak to each other. So your iPhone shows up in your Google and your Google shows up in your iPhone. And there's all sorts of fun things we can do.
I'm overwhelmed.
I know. One thing at a time.
I
We
need
just got the
medication.
iPhone calendar.
I have the appointment with the psychiatrist tomorrow. We're gonna get on some meds and
Just
we're gonna
pop
really
a little
focus
pill
it
in that booty and
that's right. I'm gonna
turn
boof,
ya
I'm
up.
gonna start boofing Adderall.
Yes.
And then we're really gonna get shit done.
We're really going to shit
and
together.
then we're really gonna shit.
You'll have it on the calendar.
Yeah.
I will just
We'll
say,
schedule our shits.
I will just say for anyone who's looking to get organized, here's the thing that you really have to do. Find the system that actually works for you. Like observe what other people are doing.
Yeah.
If the Google Calendar doesn't work for you,
Yeah.
you lean into that iPhone calendar.
I live and breathe by my. I'm a chaotic, organized person.
Yes.
So
Chaotic
like,
neutral.
yeah, chaotic neutral, if you will, if I may. And I do live by my calendar. A lot of my friends are like, "You're weird," because I schedule everything. I don't send the bling yet
Yeah.
because one day I will graduate to
No,
Google
that's okay.
Calendar. But yeah, all my friends are like, "I can't believe how far out in advance you have to schedule things," and I'm like, "Yeah,
I'm busy.
I'm a busy person. I'm the brokest, most busy person the busiest person you'll ever meet in your life.
Somebody's got to do
Someone's
it.
got to do it.
Every day.
Yep, little shoes to fill, and here I am with my little feet. Let's fucking go. Little feet, big tits.
Little feet,
Oh,
big booty.
how do you stay balanced?
You know, I got strong legs.
You got strong.
Yeah, they're so short that I've had to like, what's it called? Evolution. Evolution has taken over. And I am a fast walker, let me tell you, because I've had to keep up my whole life.
What size shoe do you wear?
6.5, 7.
Okay.
Buy me shoes.
I wear a 5.5, 6.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
little feet, tight pussies. Gang, gang.
I
gang, gang.
wear a very large shoe.
What size shoe do you wear?
10.
Damn.
Women's 10?
Women's 10.
That
Okay.
rules.
Women's 10.
Yeah.
So I can fit into men's shoes a lot.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So I always have options.
Wide variety.
Uh-huh.
Just me and the kid shoes over here.
Same.
I wish I could
Yeah.
fit into kid shoes. They're
They are
half
cheaper.
the price.
Yeah, they
every
are
time.
cheaper. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I don't know. But you guys were catching up right before we started recording. and
Yes.
you had a question for Bree. What do you do in your free time, Bree?
What do you do?
What do I do in my free time? I have been dabbling in like DJing and music production a bit, but mostly in my
So
free
we're not
time.
just dressing the part. We're like actually doing it.
Yeah, I like to make sounds for myself at home in my little office room. That's what I do with most of my free time. Or I clean the house, or I like eating a lot. Yeah, I do a lot of eating.
Do a
That
lot of
rules.
eating.
Lots of eating. Like I said, I'm a thrilling individual.
Wait, can we circle back to the DJing thing real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I love scores to movies.
Okay.
I love them. And the
Yes.
reason why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like more DJs should be pulling from like scores from Jordan Peele movies, scores from any anime, scores from what's his name? John Williams, who does all the scores for Steven Spielberg movies, because they're so good. And if you ever watched the movie Arrival, which if you haven't,
No, never heard of her.
okay.
She
I'm
hasn't
usually
arrived
leaving.
in my life.
Well, this is a
Yeah.
movie, I think it's from literally 2015. It's outstanding, but a lot of it is a lot of like breathy, like and
Okay.
heartbeaty stuff. And I was like, man,
Interesting.
how
What
cool
is
would-
the movie about?
So the movie Arrival is about communication
Hate it.
at its core. No, you're gonna love it. Okay, so
What's that?
Yeah, no clue.
aliens come to Earth. They arrive at 12 different locations across the planet, and globally, humans come together to try to figure out why they're there.
Oh.
And
Huh.
we're following Amy Adams, which I'm 90% sure I'm giving the wrong
I'm
name.
watching it.
I don't know the difference between her and like
The other
Renee
ginger.
Zellweger
Yes.
and
Yeah,
Renee.
yeah.
I was thinking about the other one. Go ahead.
But yeah, she's a linguistist person. Like she knows all about communication. She's like top in the world. And there's a sci-fi element. There's a hardcore emotional element, and the twist at the end. I don't want to spoil it because honestly, it's one of very few movies I'm like, I can't spoil this for you because it's so worth it.
Will you spoil it for me later? Because I love a spoiler. It makes
I
me
also love a
It makes me
spoiler.
more excited to watch because I like to
too.
see how they do it.
What is that?
Okay,
about?
if you want me to spoil it, I will spoil it.
Yeah, we just gotta. If you
Does
are
somebody fuck an
interested,
alien?
Well, no.
Oh man.
Well,
Why
okay,
not?
And actually,
Fuck that.
for
That's
each
rude.
other's mother, this is a great theme. You ready?
Okay.
So when the movie opens, okay, are you okay?
Yeah,
Everyone,
we're okay.
yeah,
spoilers.
everyone's fine.
Spoiler
Everyone's
of
fine.
Arrival ahead.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
have.
from a movie from 2015. So
Right.
sorry.
So the movie starts with these like sort of flashbacks that Amy Adams is having. And by the way, I can't remember her name in the movie. I just know
It's
that
Amy
She's
Adams.
Amy Adams
years.
in everything she's ever in. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Correct. And so she's there. She's having these flashbacks of her daughter. And then there's like a hint that her daughter gets very ill and dies.
Oh.
And so she's now living in this like incredible, like hyper modern house out on a lake. And she's a professor, like a top professor at a top university. And she comes in to start teaching her class. And then all the kids aren't giving a shit at all because they're like, aliens have landed. And then 15 minutes later, Forrest Whitaker is there and is like, hey, we need you to help us figure this out. And she's
Maybe
like,
I have seen this.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
she gets in a helicopter. And then the guy who plays Hawkeye in the Avengers, whose name can't remember,
No idea.
he's cutie, like whatever, and they have like a little chemistry moment, and she's like flying and she's like dealing with the pressure of like, I'm gonna be meeting and talking with aliens, like this is so exciting and it's also scary. And then she's having these flashbacks of how much she loves her daughter, and then they're there and they make them wear these big suits, and they get in their little suits, and they have a canary, and it's like military, like all around.
A
And
canary.
a canary, because you have to bring because the aliens have been like, come into the ships, like they're like, you can come in, and you get in, and there's a room, and so they're like, bring the canary, because if the canary dies, we get out of here, right?
Oh, so it's like when you dig into the earth and get the oil or the coal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're there.
It's a whole thing. It's like the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah.
Bring a canary.
Because the canaries, their respiratory systems are so weak, they will die if there's anything poisonous in there.
Okay, like me.
Yes.
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 Okay,
Yes, my
I-
little
Bring a brain.
canary.
Yeah. Bring me.
Yes.
So they're there, and there's this moment where she's like, we just have to establish some simple words, and then from there we can kind of figure out what's going on. And so she's got this whiteboard, and she writes down human, and she points to herself. And these two figures are there, and I'm not even going to tell you what they look like because I'm not going to spoil that. These two figures are
That's
like
what you're
there.
not spoiling.
Right.
Yeah.
We get the whole plot, but not.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the
Well, 'cause I
visuals.
want you to have some like visual impact.
Okay.
fair.
So she like points to herself, but she realizes she's in the suit, and then she takes the suit off, and she like goes up to them and she like teaches them her name's Louise, and then over the course of several sequences,
Wait,
they're
her
like-
name's actually Louise, or did you make that up?
No, it is Louise.
Oh, okay.
It's
It came
Louise.
to you.
I found it in my brain.
It
Thank
arrived.
You. Thank you.
It
Dad.
arrived.
It arrived.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna speed this
I
up.
thought
I'm
you
sorry.
made that up, and I
No.
was like, wow, we really pulled out
Like
Louise.
Bob's
Okay,
Burgers,
all right.
Louise? Is
Yeah,
this
I love that
Also,
bitch.
she has pink hat. But anyway, I'm gonna speed this up. I'm sorry I'm talking so much about this. I care about this so deeply.
Very. Yep, we know.
So she gets into it, and she's starting to build this language, and she's having these memories of her daughter, and like they're helping her fill in certain blanks about like how to figure out the code. And then Hawkeye, who's not Hawkeye in this movie, is like helping her, and they're like kind of falling in love. And now there's tension because
Sexual?
Not tension,
no, not
yeah.
between them, between the countries, because Russia and China are like they're not telling us
Russia
anything.
and China always.
It's
Oh,
all
God. We've had enough.
Right. They're not telling us anything. Like they're like, we're scared. They could kill us all. And they learn a word that she's like, I feel like it's actually tool, but some people are interpreting the word as weapon. So
All along, it was douchebag.
right. Correct. So now they're like, okay, we're going to give, now everyone in the world was talking to each other and things were going like really good. And then Russia and China were like, we're afraid they're going to kill us all. We're not dealing with you because we think that you're going to triangulate with the aliens to get us. And so everyone goes offline and no one's talking to each other anymore. And so Luis is like freaking out. And then you see this whole arc where it's like you see her have her baby, love her baby, her daughter grows up, her daughter gets cancer and dies. And then you realize and learn, so sorry, Johanna, you're just close enough for me to hold on to.
I love it.
You realize and learn that it's not a memory, it's the future. And the whole time, she's not looking at time linearly. I personally don't believe that time is linear. I believe
No,
time
nothing's
is like,
linear.
Right. And so
Not this
the
dick.
aliens, right. I wish. So like the aliens are like, they exist in a non-linear existence and they know that she's psychic and they knew she'd be the one to tell them. And in the mix of everything, an American sends a bomb in and blows
Not an
up the
American.
ship. Right?
Okay.
And so then they're like hurt and they're like, we just need to give you this information. But in order for that to happen, everyone has to be talking again. And so Luis gets on a cell phone because she can speak Mandarin and she's talking to the
And she's a
Prime Minister
psychic?
of
Who is
China.
Louise?
She has her shit together.
I'm trying to wipe
She's
her
got
up.
no bangs and no problems. And so she's on the phone with the Prime Minister of China and
Stop
she's
it,
like,
I'm laughing so
she's
hard.
in her mind going into the future when they meet. And he says to her, I don't speak Mandarin. And so he says, do you remember the thing that you said to me on the phone that got me to trust you? And she says, tell me again in the future. And he repeats the last words that his wife said to him before she passed away. And so she's on the cell phone with him and she says to him, I need you to trust me. I know everything's going to be okay. And then she repeats those words to him. And that's what made him trust her. And then everyone trusts each other and then everyone's okay and they get the tool and everything works out. So the reason why this movie is about communication.
Full circle.
Hold on. Full circle. Do you have any comments before Hailey continues with her?
No.
Okay. First of all,
So she didn't fuck an alien.
Every straight man who listens to the podcast, if you're out there, has 100% turned it off by now.
Why?
Because every man is like, you know what I would love to listen to? A really hot woman describe a movie for
Yes.
12 minutes.
But that's what they do.
That's
What they do.
That's what they do.
So what-
So,
so
here's
what
a
is
taste
this-
of your own fucking medicine,
So what
man.
is this?
Eat.
Is this girl? It's not like girl explain. It has to have a cuter name. It's like girl telling, girl stories,
Girl-splaining.
girl splaining. I hate it though.
Girl, I
Girls
know.
girlying, girl
Girls-
math, girl
Babes
lecture.
babing. Babes babing. I like
Okay,
that.
yeah, maybe that.
Girl lecture. No, I do like girl
Girl
lecture.
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 Sexy
Girl
and
lectures.
smart.
Sexy and smart.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm loving this so
Yeah,
much.
thank
I'm just
you.
loving at the fact. I'm
Yeah.
laughing at the fact that like,
Yeah.
you know.
I
But I
did
would
it-
like to hear the rest.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
I'm interrupting like a man.
No, you're doing great.
Well,
You're so hot.
I'm
you're
dressed
so
the part.
talented.
Thank you so much. You too. Oh,
Thank you.
oh.
Oh, do y'all want
I'm
me to
blushing.
leave?
Yeah,
No,
bye.
stay.
Or should I-
No, I'm a
No,
virgin.
stay. We need you too.
Or should I?
Just pop out a little shit.
Just a
For
little
those who are
shoulder.
not watching right now, I got my little shoulder meat out a little bit here, just for
Under
the
her
girls.
leopard print overthrow.
Yes.
Okay, so go
Communication.
on. Communication.
It's about communication because like there's so many different themes throughout it, and I think that like aliens could be used as a metaphor. And if we're going to loop men into this, like, I think what's interesting is that so often we speak very similar languages, but our word use is slightly different, or our delivery is slightly different, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And really, so many of us on the feminine perspective, we learn to hyper empathize and compensate. So we learn to understand your language. You might not learn to understand our language. But if you just fucking did, do you know how much more men would get laid if they actually understood how to speak to people?
I feel like I just got gayer listening to whatever you just said.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Can't wait to
Not sure.
marry a woman and talk everything out, until we're
roll.
both bleeding out of our ears.
Are you any gay?
I'm pansexual.
Pansexual? Aren't we all?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, what a revelation. I love
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
Nothing
When's
is linear.
Nothing.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
all a spectrum.
Nothing is linear.
Correct.
Nothing is black and white, except for me.
Yes, except for
course.
you. Yes, except
Yes.
for the Brie. So when are you dating women? You
I-
mentioned earlier you were dating
Yes.
currently.
I am dating. I typically date more. I am attracted to masculinity, but
Okay.
I have dated non-binary people. I have dated trans people.
Yeah.
I have dated. I have gone on 2 dates with women. And the whole time I just kept feeling like I was out with a friend, and so I was like, so it's not. Yeah. So that's what
Some
that
of us
is.
like that.
And I get that. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you know. And if you don't know, like, I'm very like,
Now
I
you
love
know.
that you love people.
Yeah.
But just for me, like, I am attracted to masculinity despite my own interests. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Although,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you have you don't have any preference then if you're pansexual? You're just kind of like, is
I
the
like
vibe there or
people.
not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is definitely, and I think I've only really gotten more into that as I've gotten older.
Right.
In my younger years, I was like, I'm gonna get this, whoever you are, and
Yeah.
I will make myself like you.
Yes.
And now
Oof.
yeah.
Been there.
And now I'm like, oh, I really just want to be around people that I only enjoy. I have no space or tolerance for people that I don't like.
Period.
Unless you're paying me very well
Yeah.
to spend time with you.
oh,
Growth.
I need to start getting
some
money
serious
for
growth.
spending time with people because
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of it, and I am valuable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, take
That's
me.
what I need to remember.
I would be a perfect person to take to like a wedding if you were trying to impress somebody.
I am the best wedding date.
I am the best.
I need
wedding
everyone
date.
to know that. And I can femme it up. I can mask it down. What are we doing here?
Yeah, what do
Because
we
I will
need?
fucking, what's the vibe here? Who are we best friends with? Who do we hate? Who are we talking shit about?
do
What
we
song do we dance to? Which song do we not dance to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll fucking take over the whole ass. I'll start emceeing.
Yes.
So,
That would be
just
fun.
to let everybody know. Maybe that should be like my 7th job.
Yeah, professional wedding
Professional,
date.
wedding
Professional plus
escort.
one.
Escort.
The word escort? Is that no? Because then it's like,
I don't know. I
what are we
think
doing?
we'd have to ask an escort.
You're right.
Yeah.
You can't assume anything.
Yeah, we can't.
You only ask questions.
Can I share something
Yes,
very quickly?
please.
Yeah.
I've stood up in 13 weddings,
Wow.
Yeah.
and I've been a maid of honor 7 times.
You're almost to 27 dresses.
Yeah.
yeah. I hear
Catherine
that a
Hegel.
lot. I hear that a lot.
I know. I'm sure.
And that's not your fault.
I.
That's no one's fault.
That's no one's fault.
It's all these other bitches' faults.
For
Yeah.
real.
Do you enjoy it?
No.
No.
I think
It's a lot of work.
Here-
and it's
here first.
expensive.
the last 2 weddings I were in were so stressful and awful that
Oof.
I say this with there are 2 or 3 people that I would be willing to stand up in their wedding because I love them so
And
much.
2 of them
and
are right here.
actually, that was the big reveal for today. Congratulations,
Hell yeah.
Johanna, Bree.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
What
Thank
colors?
you.
What are the colors?
Ooh.
What's the theme of the bachelorette party?
What's your palette?
My palette.
Yeah.
I look good in everything.
You
do.
You really do.
Yeah, I do. I do well with pastels actually,
Pastels
but
are
I
nice.
don't want a pastel wedding.
No.
No.
I haven't thought about my wedding.
I am supposed to be planning a wedding and I'm not doing
You
it.
Are you
are
engaged?
supposed to. Yeah,
I
she's
am.
engaged.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep, one of us fell in love.
I know.
Who are you engaged to?
Oh, the person that makes Johanna look so good.
Ooh.
I look like I climbed out of a dumpster today.
That
but
is not
it's
true.
fine.
That
We were
person
just
that
sitting in the sand.
usually,
Yeah, usually.
usually.
Wait, can I pause really quick?
Yes.
This is my favorite thing about Johanna Madronda. She will be sitting here and like naturally she has such glow, and you're just gonna take these compliments.
Yeah, just take it.
And
Bend
if
over
I
and
hear-
take it, baby.
If I hear one no
Okay.
before the end, I'm gonna be very upset.
Okay.
And we're gonna have to turn the whole show around, and I'm gonna do the whole Arrival story again. No one wants that.
The mic is down.
You naturally have such glowy and clear skin and such vibrant and expressive eyes. Just naturally. So it's like before anyone even deals with you, there is like a vibe set. And then it's the framing. You have these stunning
The frame,
perfect-
yes.
the eyebrows, the like juicy, coy, precious lips, the like, ooh, I've got the button nose, but guess what? My septum's pierced. And then it's like on top of that, you have that like literal music box laugh that is just such a delight to listen to. And then your hair, this perfect like eclipse color.
Total eclipse of the heart.
It is.
Yeah.
And it whether it's at your ears, it's down your shoulders, it's like whipped up on top of your head. It is a menagerie
ass
of
crack.
delight. Yes. It is a menagerie of delight. And I love when you say, like, I look like I climbed out of a dumpster. Because it's like, oh, really? It actually looks like to me that, like, Urban Outfitters were, like, driving by after the photo shoot. And they, like, kicked you out with your Lunchable to have the rest of your day.
Would you fuck Johanna in that dumpster?
I don't know if I'm dumpster fucker. Have you seen my eyeshadow?
This is true. This is true. Maybe outside the dumpster or maybe.
I would beachside.
Okay.
Beachside
Your
fucking.
shorts say side of the dumpster.
But my top and my makeup and my shoes, I think, say like beachside.
Beach sign?
Yeah, like
Beachside.
beachside, like at the beach.
Beachside. Okay, yeah.
The
but
dumpster's
sex
in the
on
parking lot.
Sex on the beach.
Or
though.
like in the bathroom
Not
of a
good.
nightclub. I think between the two
Yes.
of your vibes, that's what I'm. That's the
I'm
conglomeration.
very into public fucking. I
Have
like
you fucked
that.
publicly often?
I think I've had sex in a dressing room. I can't really remember. I blacked out a lot of it out, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. And then I like having sex on the couch with the drapes open.
Hell yeah.
Ah,
I love that.
That
for you.
kind of thing.
That
and
rules.
also like in cars and like yada yada. I guess that's where I'm going. That's as far as I'm going with my kinks.
Bree.
me?
Yeah, are you an outdoor like public place?
I'm a whenever I need it.
I sunk
I'ma
so
get
far
it.
down into my seat that I was almost on the ground when you were fucking showering me with all those
Yeah,
uncomfortable
do you want to say
compliments.
thank you?
Oh.
Look at me. Do you want to say thank you?
The tension in the room here.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You
The only thing
deserve
I could think
it.
of the entire time you were talking is when you said total eclipse of the heart. I was like, total eclipse of the fart. And I just couldn't stop laughing in my own head. And
I was thinking
I'm
it
a
too.
child. So yeah. I'm a child.
thought
But
it.
thank you. Those were very kind, very observant,
And
very
true.
deep.
Yeah.
And I also kind of needed it because I fed somebody else's ego yesterday and they did not feed it back. So thank you. Those were
You're
all the
welcome.
words that I think that they feel and think about me, but
Yeah.
they're too much of a fucking pussy to say it. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I love you so much.
I love you so
And
much.
I also think you're equally as gorgeous.
Oh my god, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Are you
Okay.
are you a public fucker? A public motherfucker.
I have had sex in public places. And I only have done it. Hold on. I never want to lie if I can help it.
Fair.
Yeah, the only person I have had sex with in public is someone that I love very much. We had sex in a mall 4 times.
The same
hot.
same day?
No,
In
different malls as well.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not in dressing rooms.
Oh.
Not in
plot
dressing room.
thickens. I'm like, damn, you really
Yeah.
took up 12 minutes to talk about Arrival when we could have been talking about this shit?
I'm foreplay.
Okay. Foreplay is important.
This is true.
And I just
You did bring Amy Adams into our foreplay.
I do just want to
appreciate
say,
that.
for any cis straight men, that is foreplay. I wouldn't have said that if you hadn't let me talk about Arrival for so long. I felt like I owed you something nice.
True. Oh, shit, girl. Talk dirty to me.
That's it.
Okay, that's smart. You're so
Yeah,
smart.
thank
I'm writing
you.
all this down.
Thank you.
I know. I feel like this similar akin to one of your life coaching sessions.
Right?
Oh, this would be very different. So a life coaching session with me I have sort of co-opted your show a couple times where I was like, what about you? And like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
But life coaching sessions with me, Johanna can speak to some of that.
Yeah. Hailey was my life coach for a while.
And you're doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, here I am.
Look at
Every
you.
day.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a conversation. I try to allow like my client to do most of the talking, but I do think it's valuable, or at least in my practice, it is something that I tend to share. Not everything. I wouldn't feel comfortable talking to my clients being like,
About fucking in the mall
Yes.
and arrival
Yes.
for,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, do it.
Although if I thought it, I was like, well, you should think about communication and how time isn't linear. Please watch Arrival and we'll discuss in your next session. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think boundaries are important. And I will say really quickly to anyone who's working with a mental health professional, if your mental health professional starts talking about things that make you feel uncomfortable, like legitimately like, wow, I don't know how fucking in a public place came up, but suddenly we were talking about fucking in public places and I didn't like that. Just know that you always have the following options. You can always let that person know and set a boundary, and the expectation should be, we will never be talking about that again.
Mm-hmm.
B, if you really feel uncomfortable, you can either go, if they are part of a larger practice, go to the manager of that practice, let them know.
Oh.
And then they can either deal with it for you as an anonymous note, or they will assign you to someone else. 3, find someone new. You should not be traumatized by the sources of healing. And if anyone makes you feel uncomfortable and you don't feel safe to tell them, you should find a new source of healing.
And that's true for life.
Yes.
In general.
Yes.
For real.
Thank you for letting me get serious for a second, but
That was just a free sample of your life coaching.
I know.
You're selling yourself, baby.
Yeah.
We love to
Right.
monetize on this
Shit. Please,
podcast.
please, please.
Hello. Yes. Free samples. I love it. No, Hailey is an awesome life coach. And
Thank
for
you.
real, I did. Here's the thing. We had a really great experience and we chatted for about 3 months, maybe longer. And I did a lot of crying and it felt really good. But I didn't do any of the homework.
Oh, I love
But that's
homework.
why I'm going to the medicine man tomorrow to be like, why don't I do my homework? You know? Because I have a lot of homework. I just don't do it.
My actual therapist, I asked for homework and she doesn't give me homework.
hi, Bree. Have you ever considered working with a life coach?
Yeah. Look at me.
So here's the thing. Like, do you mind it? Can I say some things? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Consent is important and it's very sexy. So thank you for
It is very
affirming me.
sexy.
Yeah, I love sex and consent.
Yeah, me too.
So when you work with a life coach, as a life coach, one of the first things people ask me after they're like, what oils are you selling? Which is a total valid question, unfortunately.
Got plenty of oil.
Plenty.
But seriously, like a lot of people will be like, what is the difference between working with a therapist and working with a life coach?
Right.
And like a couple of the big ones. One, I am not licensed.
Right?
I am certified, and not every life coach is certified. I would encourage anyone who's considering pursuing a life coach to work with a certified life coach because I personally think that there's a difference. I digress. Also, as a life coach, I cannot diagnose you. I cannot prescribe you. And I have a different code of ethics. Psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, therapists, and any other title that I'm not encompassing right now that are licensed by the state or licensed by by different states, they have different codes of conducts, different practices, and different boundaries. The job of a therapist, and I'm making a vast generalization,
Right.
is not to push you. Their job is to observe you, perceive you, and if they are a psychiatrist, prescribe you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get pushed.
Yeah. So that is a great opportunity for a life coach. Where a therapist might be like, how did it make you feel that XYZ happened? Or let's explore this more. And what
Sick
are your
and tired of
conclusions?
that.
As a life coach, I can be like, hey, I just want to point out you've made this same pattern 3 times.
Yeah.
And this is now the 5th time we're talking about this. So
The fuck are you gonna do?
let's look at what this pattern is. Because really a life coach is someone who observes patterns and then helps support you shift those patterns. And I want to be clear. I didn't say judge the pattern. I didn't say punish the pattern. I just said shift the pattern. Because I think one thing that's really important to acknowledge is patterns exist because they protected you. Patterns didn't arrive in your life because you were like, you know what? I'm the dumbest fucking idiot that ever existed in the whole world. What's the stupidest, dumb butthole thing that I can do? This. That's not how a pattern works. You were in a situation.
That's what I sound like when I do it.
That's what you think you sound like. That's what you think you sound like. But like the reality is, for most people, you were in a situation and you had a reaction and you cultivated the pattern to process and keep going.
Lots of reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allergic mostly.
Yeah.
Allergic.
That's what they call. They don't call me itchy snitchy for nothing.
The other people are allergic to me is what's happening. Okay, Hailey, we have to get into this because
Yes.
this is the whole premise and point
Yes.
of this podcast. Who do you think fucked you up out of your parents? You have mommy issues, you got daddy issues, you got both?
Both. I think both your parents contribute equally.
100p.
I will say this. Hold on. Okay, so I grew up thinking I had very strong daddy issues, and I did. But I dealt with them head on because I was very aware of them from a very young age. And I want to say very clearly, I have a great relationship with my dad now. My relationship with my dad is so good that I comfortably call my romantic partner's daddy with no problem. No echo, no back chat. I love my dad. We talk often. We connect. I am so in awe and so proud of the relationship I have with my dad. And one of my favorite things about my relationship with my dad is he respects my boundaries. He listens to me. And there have been times where I've been like, hey, you did this to me when I was little and it really hurt my feelings. And he's been like, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
We love that.
We love that.
We love that.
Oh, that's powerful. Anytime I say anything to my mom like that, she's like, oh my God, get over it. She don't know how to apologize.
On this podcast.
Literally on the podcast.
Literally.
Yeah. She was like, oh, I peed while you were brushing your teeth. We all remember.
Well, in that note, I have been no contact with my mom for, it'll be 4 years coming up here.
Good for you. How'd you do it? Do you have any pointers? Can't get rid of mine.
Oh, God. I love my mom. I really do. I love my mom. I respect my mom. But I just came to a place. So I was in therapy and we were talking about it and we were dealing with it. And I was working with my life coach and my life coach pointed out, she was just like, you know, you get really scared when you talk about your mom and you're like afraid. And that made me feel bad because I was like, well, I don't want my mom to think I'm afraid of her. And she's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, that's the cool thing about a life coach, because a life coach will be like, why? And why wouldn't you choose something else? Like, your job here, your job in this life is to take care of you. That's your job. Your full-time job is to take care of you. Yes, you have to honor the obligations. Yes, you come prepackaged with a family relationship system, but your job is to take care of you. And if the people who made you don't make you feel safe, that means that they're not allowed to have access to you because your job is to take care of you. And I had to write a letter to her, letting her know that I didn't know how to be angry until I was 32 years old.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, and I still have a hard time with it.
Me too.
Really?
I have a really hard time
Y'all
being
can
angry.
have some of mine.
But
Please.
That's
I
one
live
of my
in rage.
one of the things that I highly value about you is that there are times where I've watched you be angry about things and I'm like, wow, that is so cool. That will be amazing. Cool.
It feels good to get it out, I will say.
It does.
But a lot of the times when I'm angry, I'm crying. Like hot tears.
That makes sense.
Just very emotional.
Yeah.
But it does feel good to let it out. I would hate to be the person that like can't let it out
Well, it's
or pushes it down so deeply.
well, and
Do you think that's you? Sorry to
it was.
interrupt you.
Do I think it was me? Yeah. Do I think it's me now? No. Now I'm more comfortable being like, I'm angry. I used to be afraid to say that sentence out loud.
Wow.
The first time I was talking to my therapist about it, and he was like, can you just say you're angry? And I said, sure. And then I started sobbing.
Huh.
Because the secret of anger,
The anger iceberg.
the secret
Let's
of
go, baby.
the secret of anger is anger loves you. Anger loves you.
It does. It protects you.
And it wants to protect you. Anger is a dragon, and anger can feel scary to other people and can feel tough to other people. But on the inside, anger is just like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Just cradling you.
Yeah. In my household growing up, anger appeared as rage. And it was very scary. And there was a lot of like screaming and throwing stuff and stomping around and slamming of doors. And like
And that's just a Tuesday.
It really was. And it was never violent towards other people, but it was just like violent around. And so
the energy.
And it felt threatening. Yeah. And so I would be little, and I was the eldest of my siblings. And so I immediately felt like, okay, well, I've got to either make this I have to absorb the anger so that they're okay, or I have to hide us so we're okay. And I didn't know how to do that. And so I learned that anger was scary and anger was hurt people. And I don't want to hurt anybody. Like that's a core value of mine is I do no harm, but I won't take any shit anymore.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
So the universe did like a reverse Uno on your ass or something. Reverse.
So when I wrote a letter to my mom, I was like, I'm so fucking angry at you. And it was like an anger that was probably like in a spectrum of 2 years old all the way to like 22 years old. So there was some fury in there from like my teenage years where like,
oh yeah,
she was not best pleased.
Where it all lives.
And so I was really the real reason why I'm no contact with my mom right now is I don't think I have anything productive or kind to say.
Ooh, child.
Ooh. And that doesn't feel fair.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel fair to me above all else because I don't like to hurt people.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't feel good. And secondly, like I don't think it's fair to say to someone, I'm hurt by you, and to fix it, this is what I would need. Now, I will say when I wrote that letter, what I said was, I'm so fucking angry about all of these things, and I don't feel like I would be heard, and I don't feel like I would be respected, and because I love you, I need this space. And she has done a great job giving me space. At this point, I know that the thing that I would need from her, and this is why I haven't talked to her yet, is because I'm scared. Because the thing that I want from her is I want my mom to go to therapy. And if my mom doesn't go to therapy, she can't have access to me. And that, saying that out loud right now feels really scary because, you know, when you're like, I want to, like the ice cream truck's going by. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I want to ask my mom for $1 for an ice cream truck. Yeah. And you're like, well, I know she's going to say no. And so you're like, I'm just not going to ask.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. I feel like if I say to her, I want this from you, and then we can talk again. Yeah. But not to make everything about communication. Sorry, I just want to say this last thing because I know we started talking about arrival, but here's part of it. Like, I have felt for a really long time in my relationship with my mom that I know how to speak French and she only knows how to speak English. And so when I invite her to speak French with me, her reaction is very negative. And so when I'm asking for certain things, she's incapable and I'm trying to sympathize, but at some point I want to talk fucking French with you.
Yeah. No one's saying oui, oui.
Speak French. That's good grammar.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Thank you.
I barely speak English.
Yeah.
Where'd this other language come from?
I am really proud of you for doing that. I tried to do that with my mom and I did not speak to her for like an entire year one time.
Wow.
And it was very much like, if you don't stop drinking, if you don't go to therapy, blah, 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 blah. And then we had talks, but it didn't really go much anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I had to get to a point where I was like, maybe I just need to accept you for a while. We're still working through it. Might dump her ass pretty soon here, but she does live under my roof, so it's getting a little hard. Do you by chance, and we'd love to have you back because I want to talk to you more about all of those things so badly. Yeah. You are very intriguing to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you're a very, very kind, very intelligent person.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us today. I don't know if I sent you this, but we do a Mom of the Week. Yeah. And I don't know if you chose one or found one.
I have one.
Okay, perfect. Let's go.
Love it.
Love it.
Okay.
We're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is a mom that I saw on a meme and it was on a TikTok. And so I'll send you that later. But so here's the Mom of the Week that I saw. This woman posted that she was in a grocery store and she had her like 4-month-old and her 2-year-old. And at the same time, they both started freaking out.
Of course.
And so she's
They were
in
communicating.
Yes,
Correct.
they were communicating. And she was exhausted and tired, and she just had to get one more like thing. And she was like, you know what? We're just going to leave. So she started putting the things back on the shelf, tears streaming down her face, like just feeling so defeated. And this other woman came up and was like, can I help you, Mom? And started like taking care of the 2-year-old so that she could focus on the 4-month-old who just needed like, you know, a pacifier or whatever. And then like things started like calming down. And then another woman came up and was like, can I help you put these things back in your cart? I feel like you need these things. And what else can I grab for you? And so this woman is like there, and she's like in this moment where like things are calming down, things are getting steady. The first woman's like holding her 4-year-old and like getting them settled down. And like my favorite thing about this whole thing is obviously it's great when good people show up and do good things. But my favorite thing about it is the mom posted and like had photos of the 2 women and was like, these women saved my day. And I think moms that like can not only receive kindness from people that they deserve and also report the kindness that they see, like that's the reciprocity that we need. We need to be in a practice of accepting and giving. And that's my mom of the week.
You picked like an actual good mom.
Yeah, because I have a bad one. But do you want me to Gemini twist it?
That's amazing. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Are you a Gemini?
I am a Gemini.
Okay, duh. Cool.
Gemini twist, boom, J-Lo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
she's been popular on the internet recently.
Jenny is back on the block.
Jenny's
Go
back
ahead.
on the block with her fucking ham and cheese on a roll and her orange drink. If you know, you know.
Okay, keep going.
So
What'd she
here's-
do?
So here's the thing. I watched her documentary because everyone was talking shit about her on TikTok, and I was like, I want to watch this. Like, I want to know. I'm a babes babe.
Sure.
I don't like to put people down, period. But, like, especially, like, anyone in the femme and queer spectrum, I'm like, well, what do they really do? Like, what are we really mad about? But I digress
Yeah.
to say, I was watching her thing, and I think that, like, I think a lot of people are annoyed because basically she's emulating things that she's seen other people do, and it's not authentic, and people are reacting to that. But the one takeaway I felt, and I'm a little trepidatious to say this because everyone's entitled to their own exploration and creativity process and boundaries. But if you're going to cosplay as Beyonce, the one thing that I love about Beyonce is that she gives us little tastes that feel appropriate of her like her whole family life.
Yeah.
Right.
And in J-Lo's documentary, it was like, here I am. I'm sorry, real quick, small side. I did think it ruled that her entire documentary, she looked like herself. There were no hard filters. There wasn't makeup
Okay,
every time.
sure.
She looked like a 52-year-old woman, and she looked hot as fuck. It ruled.
Latinas, baby.
Yes. But she did look like she'd aged because she's a
Okay.
human being.
Sure.
No kids. No mention of her kids. No nothing of her kids. And there was a part of me that's like, that does kind of rule that she's like, I'm a businesswoman. I'm a professional. I'm an artist. This expression is about me and the story of my life. But I do think in the story of your life,
You should.
Yeah, if you're gonna have them, if you're gonna push them out,
And
and that's my
Beyonce,
dad's story.
you gotta pay
Beyonce's
attention
putting
to
her
'em.
kids on so much that Blue's got a Grammy. So
Period.
And her daughter, her youngest daughter, whose name I can't remember right now,
Rumi.
she's the first artist under 10 to have the most streams on Spotify.
See,
I can't with these
A
children.
legacy.
They're all fucking richer than
They owe
all
me
of us
money.
combined. Okay, where can people find you on the internet, honey buns?
You can find me at my website, zhaileycoaching.com. That's Z as in zebra, HAILEY coaching.com. You can find me zhailey on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not calling it X. TikTok, you can find me at the zhailey, and you can find me around Metro Detroit.
Bree Bree.
in the trash can next to Johanna.
While I'm fingering Hailey. I'm at johanna.madronda and johannamadronda.com. We'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.